Okay, so to make sure that you're doing assignment 1 correctly, if you go into assignments here, you will see that here's your quizzes listed, here is your assignment 1, you know how to start it, this is your task. This is your assignment 1 brief. So if you click on that, it's going to look like this. And then you've got your brief there, which you need to download first. And then if you go back here, you'll also see that you have assignment 1 and then extracts for assignment 1 and sample assignment 1. If you click on that, you're going to get this. So you need to download one of these extracts, not both. Remember that. Don't download both. So let's imagine that we've downloaded one. Excuse me. And let's have a little look here. So this is our assignment 1. And it's the extract from Heart of Darkness. And it's your job to add 500 words worth of comments for formalism for week 1, and then literary impressionism for week 2, and then on Marxism and feminism for week 3. So you won't actually be able to add these comments till you've read up on the theories. So you kind of have to do them on a week by week basis. Now you can actually just do all of your work at the end of week 3 if you want, but I think it's easier if you just kind of get used to doing a little bit every week. So here I've given you an example of how your comments should look for week, let's say week 1. So I'm just going to kind of show you firstly how you actually play around with these comments. So we have the review button, this is your comments. So for example, if you want to delete a comment like this one I was just playing around with, you can just delete them like that. And again, I'll just delete this one because this was just a sample. So again, review, delete. But to add a comment, you actually just need to, it's very, very simple. You just hit the, let's take it to here. So imagine that you're annotating 500 words on formalism. So here we've got my readings here. Can you see those little comment boxes? So we can read this extract using formalism, particularly Eichenbaum's argument that literature shows the contrast between poetic and practical language. What you're showing me here is that you can quote from the readings. And then you're also telling me a little bit about how these readings apply. Now, what you can do more is here you can kind of start talking about the impact on the reader. You know, this creates a clear impression that this is not just prose but literature. So you're telling me a little bit about how these readings impact the reader. Now, I've only added comments of formalism and I actually totaled the word count for this. It's about 350. So you're only being asked to add 500 words worth of comments each week. So this is pretty much your assignment for each week. That's all you need to add. And you can copy the kind of layout and the kind of tone that I've used. This is really just to get you to, I think it's always easier when you can see what's expected of you for assignments. You know, what am I meant to be doing? What's it meant to look like? But I also am aware that some of you might not know how to use comments. So it's very easy. On the extract that you downloaded, remember you're just downloading it from here. You can do Bell Jar or Heart of Darkness. Don't do both. And remember, just because, let's say you do the Bell Jar, it doesn't mean that you don't have to read Heart of Darkness. So do be aware of both of the texts. So we've downloaded our Heart of Darkness. It's nice and blank. And you add some comments like this. So let's imagine that we wanted to say something about this bit here. Let's say, okay, let's say these dashes, these short sentences. Let's say we were going to read formalism into this. You would hit review up here, and then you would go new comment, and then you'd make your point. And really, the point, you know, what you're aiming for here is to create an argument. How can you read formalism into this? I think formalism's the hardest one. It's actually easier to read literary impressionism in, and it's also easier to read feminist and Marxist ideas in. So obviously for feminism you're looking at the idea of gender, which you can do even though there aren't many females in this section. It's not just about women, it can be about men too. And then for Marxism you've got lots of stuff about the different ranks and the way that different people are seen against each other. I mean, the director here clearly has a big role. But again, you're not going to be adding those comments on feminism and Marxism, that's the week 3 theories, and literary impressionism, that's the week 2 theory, until we actually reach those weeks. So this is pretty much what you should be doing each week. And you don't have to submit at the end of each week. You only have to submit your complete document with 1,500 words worth of comments on all three, technically four of the theories, at the end of week 3. So as I said, in theory you could do all of this towards the end of week 3, but it's kind of easier if you take it in 500 word chunks. 500 words on formalism in week 1, 500 words on literary impressionism in week 2, 500 words on Marxism and feminism in week 3. Now remember, the last thing is you don't actually have to have 500 words on each. For example, let's imagine this is a student. If the student wants to keep to 350 words for this bit, which they've already got, and they want to instead use 700 words for Marxism and feminism because it's 2 theories, then they just want to use the remaining words on literary impressionism, that's fine. You don't have to kind of split it 500, 500, 500. I'm leaving it up to you how you want to split your comments. Just as long as you have some formalist readings, some literary impressionism readings, and some Marxist feminist readings, you will be fine, okay? Now remember to quote. You do need to put the page number, but you don't need a works cited for this. Why? Because there's nowhere to put it. What you can do is you can actually save your works cited citations, because you're going to be drawing on this for assignments 2 and 3. Assignment 2 will see you peer review someone else's comments by pressing reply, but that's not coming yet. And assignment 3 will see you drawing together this research to produce an essay in which you argue how you can read 3 theories into the Bell Jar or Heart of Darkness. So you'll be using the whole novel for that bit, or extracts of your choice. But again, you don't need to worry about assignments 2 and 3 yet. This is how you should be doing assignment 1, and that's due at the end of week 3, okay?